Hey kids, this week's edition of Hikes with Erik, we're walking over to Sharps Ridge from the 4th and Gill neighborhood. And I stopped along the way because we have all these cool art exhibits around the city. Here's one right here. Not really an exhibit as much as a sculpture. And there's one over here across the street. You know, a lot of cities, when you build a building, you have to designate a certain amount of space to art. So our local artists can come in and put their 2 cents of what they think belongs in the area. Also, this photography studio is really cool. Last summer they put up all pictures of local people that live in the neighborhoods around here, and they posted them on the sides of the local brew pubs here. And then they have all pictures of local small dogs for a small dog rescue that they put on the sides of the wall too. But this is a really cool studio here. So I just figured I'd stop along the way and say hi and show you the art we got here. I'll see you in a bit. There's that neighborhood mural of the dogs in the neighborhood. Isn't that cool? All different kinds of pups. Hey guys, here we are at Sharps Ridge Memorial Park at the corner of Hanover and Ridge, and then Farragut is the main street that's behind there. A very low-key entrance on Hanover. Here's the beginning of the park. All it has is a map here where it shows there's 3 miles of trails here in the park, and they both run along the sides of the ridges. At about 1,300 feet elevation, which is 200 to 300 feet above the valley. The whole park is 111 acres, so not super big, but big enough, and great views of the Smokies, and especially known at this time of year for birding. So when birds fly in, they'll stop in on the ridge above the Knox Valley and hang out up there, and then probably fly on the Smokies and Appalachian Mountains. We're out that direction. We'll see them soon. Okay, cool. Let's take the trail up. Oh, here we are coming down the trail, and we notice this really cool leaf on the side of the trail. It's a wood sorrel, which is an herb, and these violets come out of it, so it's a violet wood sorrel. Look at how cool the little petals are. They have this red pigment, and my guess is when they grow in a little bit more, that pigment changes and it gets more green as the flowers start coming in. That's usually how it works. And we have another one for bingo. White oak. Notice a lot of oaks here. There it is, leaf. And don't forget the free box. Great. What else could we find? Oh, here's another one on the scavenger hunt. Big old log coming down here. Lots of logs in this area. Remember all the stuff that's gonna pop out of there. Look, there's mosses and stuff growing on there. Definitely fuel for new growing things. I want to show you this really cool sapling here. This is a chestnut oak. And these were really, really important back in the day. They grow really straight and very, very good dense hardwood. So houses that were made of this during the pioneer era, especially in the park, were still standing around today. But the problem is they had a lot of oaks that came in from Asia, and they brought a bug over and they got into this chestnut oak. So they don't tend to grow very big, maybe like 2 or 3 times the size of this little sapling, and then they'll die off. However, in California recently, I think maybe a couple of years ago, they found a chestnut oak that doesn't have the little varmint in there. And they've been getting it with another kind of an oak, a Chinese oak, and they've been breeding them together to try to bring back the chestnut oak because they were such a valuable tree to everyone back in the day. Because of the nuts that came down, they were a huge supply for bears and other animals. And also the chestnut oaks were, like I said, were really great for building houses and buildings out of very rot resistant wood. Great, we found a twofer here. We got a web. Great spot here is the trail corridor comes down. I'm sure flies fly down here and all kinds of little bugs and varmints get stuck up in there. And these beautiful fire pinks. You should see these later in the Smokies and around here in the mountainous areas, but doing great here as elevation now. Beautiful flower. We got web, and we've got a flower. Corner pocket. Great. Can't wait to see what's next. Cruising along the trail, we found another one on the list. Short leaf pine cone, kind of wrapped up in this vine. I'm just gonna leave it there. Better leave stuff undisturbed in nature if you can. And I don't see the tree around here, but if you look up there, there it is. Maybe in the windstorm we had recently, it blew off, a branch blew off and it got stuck in this vine. I want to show you this. This is an important plant for the Cherokee that lived in the Smoky Mountains and around here. This is Solomon seal, smooth Solomon seal, and they call it that way because the leaves are smooth and the margins are smooth on it. And the true Solomon seals have the flower that grows underneath there. And they just look like they popped up, but in September and October, those will be replaced with blue berries. And these are used for lung disorders, and mostly back in the day for putting, using it as moisturizer for red, dry skin. And you can feel these leaves, they have a lot of natural oils in them and they feel very silky. You can almost see the shine in there. Can you see that? Really cool plant. And there's a fall Solomon seal too that doesn't have the flowers underneath there. It doesn't get the berries either. Still oils in that one, but not quite as good. Check that one off before we get going. Pinecone, sweet. So we have two in this, and the free, with the free box. A few more to go on that one. Well, walking along, I saw really cool tree. This is one of my favorites out here. It's a sassafras tree, and it has three different kinds of leaves. It has one I call the claw, an ovate leaf, or kind of a rounded style leaf, oval, and then one that looks like a mitten. And this is where we get root beer from, so keep in your mind what root beer tastes like. One of my favorite drinks growing up as a kid. But if you scratch the leaves, especially the stems of them, they smell like Fruit Loop cereal. When would you ever suspect a tree would smell like Fruit Loop cereal out here? So it smells like Fruit Loops, but you get root beer from it. What is so different? Beautiful tree. And you know, because these mountains are so old out here, like the Smoky Mountains, we have 134 different kinds of trees out there. That's the last number I heard. That is a huge variety of different kinds of trees. So there's always something new to discover on the tree front out here. So much great biodiversity. Oh, let's find another one on the scavenger hunt. Ah, yeah. I'll take this rock. There it is. Great. Can't wait to see what you find next. Walking by, look, we found the Sunspear. You can see it out there. And then beyond that, Smoky Mountains. Kind of hazy today, but you can see the mountains out there. And here's another one for the bingo. At least in this row. Sand pine, scrub pine. They usually grow in disturbed areas here. There's electrical wires going down here, so they had to clear it out. So trees do better in this area because they're not choked out by the bigger trees and the canopy of the leaves. green tree. A couple in that row. Tis the season for cool flowers, right? So we saw the wood sorrel flower, which was a violet, and then here's another blue violet leaves. I love the different pigments in the veins. Isn't that gorgeous? Many beautiful colors out in the forest. Walking along brings back childhood memories for me. Honeysuckle. I love the smell of this stuff, especially in the summertime. And at least when I was a kid, we would pick these little stamen out in the middle and we'd suck on those. They have a sweet taste to them. I used to love that as a kid. And I found another one on the list too. Here's the nut, hickory nut. There, where's that nut? There it is. A couple more to go. There, grass and anthill, and this one for bingo. All right. We noticed. Well, here's another one we noticed. Found a nest here. This is cool because usually they're really far up in the trees and high up, and you can't really see them too well. But you can see here in the center of this tree, a bird building a little nest in there. Isn't that great? A nice spot. Check that off. So mushroom and feather for that one. All right, let's find those. Got that mushroom. Little turkey tail mushrooms growing on this stick, like a limb. We're going to talk about those in another hike. They have medicinal values. Boost immune functions. All right, a mushroom. Voila. All right, just a feather to go. Almost there. Aha, I found the last one for bingo. Bird feather. Here's another entrance to the park. Very low key. I really like the parks. Me and Deidre walked around here for a while. Besides some road noise, they're very pretty. It's a really nice section to come here. Be able to see views of the Smokies and out into Knoxville, and it has a very woodsy feel to it, almost like a mountain trail. All right, kids, I want to see how these bingo cards are turning out, so if you have them done, can you send them on in with your teacher? That'd be great. Well, thanks for joining me for another Hikes with Erik. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.